Okay, let's do this. Regarding started, let's start this session. So I'll be explaining about calling a method through an API. First of all, we just want to know about what is an API. Why do we call a method through an API? What is the difference between calling a normal method and calling a method through an API? So I would explain you with an example here showing two different codes. Okay, stop Eclipse. Okay. Launch. I'll show you an example like in Eclipse ID and the ID which we are working Spring Tool suite for. Why we are using Spring Tool suite instead of Eclipse, I'll be explaining you that also. Okay, if we come here, first of all, let's see why we are going to use Spring Tool suite. Okay, we come here, we'll try to open a new dynamic project. Okay, yeah, you see if you are creating a dynamic project in Eclipse, then we have to download Apache Tomcat. Then you have to, keep it here as a runtime, and you have to check this version, everything. But suppose if we are using Spring Tool, so there'll be like you can see Tomcat started on port 8080. We never downloaded any Tomcat in this particular Spring Tool suite. Tomcat is already installed with the IDE itself, so it will be easier for you. And this Spring Tool suite has like all the dependencies for the Spring Boot application, so it will be easy for you to use like Spring Boot applications. So as we discussed why we are using, so we can see here a code, this like method, you can see these methods can only be accessed by you, the user which you are using. Let us suppose take an example. You are working in a company, it is a big e-commerce company, and there is a method called create order. So that particular create order should be accessible to everyone. In this case, if you are seeing it, this particular if you are just normally calling on a method here, only you can access this. But when it comes to a big applications, everybody should access that particular method. For accessing that, you just use APIs. So that APIs are like calling methods where everybody can access that. Not only you, but everybody can access it. That is why the reason we use API. So let us start with this Spring Tool suite. For this, how you can download it, you can just go to Chrome. Yeah, I can just search Spring Tool suite 4. You can go here and you can download here. You can see here Windows, depending upon your system, you can download from here. Once it is downloaded, you can just install it in your system. Then after, we are going to do a small Spring Boot application, and we'll be giving a method addition, like adding two numbers, and we'll be placing that in a method, and we'll be calling to an API. Okay, I'll be explaining the whole process, okay, step by step. First of all, once you complete installation of IDE, just go to Chrome and search spring for start spring.io. You can see that. Type that. Once you type that, you will come to this page. Okay, it is like a jar file. The thing is, in Spring Boot, you don't need to code everything. It is a easy process. You just download the jar file, import the jar file into your IDE, and you will be completing your first application. That's how simple it is. Okay, first of all, we just will be setting the language. You can see here Java, and now for now we will be doing Maven project. This Kotlin and Groovy are like different languages. I don't know. I'm not sure, but we are, as of now we will be doing Maven. And here we can see a Spring Boot. These all are the versions. The versions which you are seeing brackets, okay, and there is some information snapshot kind of something is there. Those are like still developing versions, not yet developed. the versions which you can see 3.2.9 and 3.3.3 are like stable versions. So we'll be selecting the latest stable version 3.3.3, and you can keep any name like here uh, com.mycom. Okay, and name and artifact we can keep the same name like first YRSTAPP. Okay, okay, can keep it, and yeah, you can come here and you can see a option called add dependencies. For this we are going to add a dependency called Spring Web. What it does is, as I mentioned it, if you are going for Eclipse, you have to download, especially, Tomcat server, everything. But if you are using this dependency, Spring Web, you can see a Tomcat is embedded inside it. You don't need to especially download or something. Okay, once you keep it, and you can see here, we are going to, type download a jar file, and I would recommend you to use 17th version, which is Java 17, which is stable one. And once you click generate control here, the jar file will be downloaded. In my case, I've already downloaded. So okay, I'll show you where I downloaded it. Okay, you can see here. Okay, mm, let's download this again. Control. Okay. Yeah, so you'll be downloading it. Save, keep it option, and you have to extract. In my case, what happened is, in this particular jar file, there are like around 12,000 plus, subfiles or something. So it will be very easy extract. Okay, it will be very hard for you to extract that project. So what you do is, you can uh, I'll go this 7-zip file manager, which helps you to extract files, large files. Okay, then once you go here, now what you do is right click on it. You can see a option called Maven project. If you're clicking right click on a file, sorry, first of all you open your IDE which you have downloaded, and open, right click on a file, and you can see a Maven project. Click on it. Hmm, okay, not just right click here, and you can see an import option, because already you have like downloaded file. You don't need to make a new project. You just going to import it. So you can see Maven here. Okay, existing Maven, because already you have downloaded it, existing Maven, and select that particular workspace, like said, like we have did the first app. Okay, and select that path and finish. You just keep try to select this option pom.xml. This is very important, and once you click that, yeah, just finish, press the finish button, and yeah, it will be shown like this. Okay, then what you go to chat gpt. Okay, once you completed this step, you can go to the chat gpt. Okay, ask. Okay, you're going to ask, hmm, you're going to ask ChatGPT like this. I have to call an API method. And I have to add two numbers, and these two numbers will be a method, and I have to call that as an API. Give that input. The ChatGPT will give you the code. Okay, ChatGPT will, once it gives the code, try to copy the code and paste here. So not just copying and pasting. You have to create packages and classes. So what you do is, here there is an option called com.mycom first tab. This is on that you have to right click on it, and you can see there is a package. Once you click on a package, Once you click on a package, you can see, you can name it as you wish, and you can click finish here. The package will be like, they are like different packages. When you create an application or when you are making it, there will be always a package which will have a, a database logic, and which will have the main core logic, and which will have the, starting points. So these packages are common for every application. When you see it here, you can see a controller. Okay, this is like starting of this package is like starting package, where you just implement the small logics. When your code is like little bigger, or it is when you are working for application bigger applications, you need to code in large number. So then you will be using a package called service. Yeah, this service package is like you can extend your code there. Okay, normally now, as of now, we are just using a small code, so it will be easy to use that controller package. Once you create it, you just right click on it, and you can see a class. Okay, now you can make any class, like file name, class name and file name should be the same. So as we can see here, add controller dot java, and you can see the class name add controller dot java. Once you create it, you can copy the code from ChatGPT, which ChatGPT have given you, and you can paste it here. You have to create another one, because now here it comes, when we see, first we have to import all the Spring framework. For that, I can see here the ChatGPT has given import.org.spring framework website annotations. By this, all the Spring framework will be imported into your code. You just no need to worry about other things. Now, we are using add request.java class. Okay. Now, this particular class should be imported here. You can see here, add request import com dot, as you mentioned, we imported that particular import here. Now we can see here at the rate rest controller, at the rate request mapping, everything. What are these? Let us take the rest controller is like handling HTTP requests. Okay, and return the responses. And you can see a request mapping. It is like a defining an endpoint. Okay. uh, and Another thing you can see here is a post mapping. Okay, I'll be explaining why we are using post mapping, why we are using particular word called post. Okay, I'll be explaining in coming up. And other thing is a similar, public int. Just write the logic for it. Request is like the request which you give. I'll, request will be giving in, there is a application called Postman. There will giving the request inputs. That request inputs will be added here. You can see that request get number one, request get number two. This particular get number one, get number two will be giving in that application called Postman, while calling an API. And addition, like saving it this both sums in sum, and printing out and returning the sum. This is how code works. And when we go to add request.java, you see it here, you can see class name, package, importing the package and class name. Inside that, you can see a thing called private int. Why we are using private int? Why not a public one? So there is a term called in Java, like oops concept. There is a term called encapsulation, where the, information inside a code will be a private one. Let us say in this particular case we are using just num1 and num2. What if you're working for some company, you are taking a phone number, so that should be private one. Nobody should like see that one. So only the class will be visible. Inside that class, whatever the matter will be in a private form, so that only access to one can access it, everybody cannot see it. So we are using private for that case. If we see private, the only, you can go to right click on it, you can go to source, and you can see and getters and setters option here. Okay, only the private, these private values are only accessed by getters and setters. Okay, if you are only using getters and setters, you can access that private one, or else nobody can access it. The visible part will be class 1, but inside the information will be accessed only through getters and setters. That is why the reason we are using private int here. Okay, what we do is we have to stop everything and we have to go to Postman. Okay, install Postman. Okay, just go to here and go here, Postman download. Okay, download Postman, get started free. Once you click here, that will be downloaded. Install it into your system and open it. The once you open here, it will be showing like this. I cannot see anything here. First of all, you have to create a new collection. Okay, create a collection. First, we have we'll just go with the blank collection, and you have to name it here. Well, let us go for the first application. First tab, enter. Okay, we'll be creating a, a collection, and automatically it shows like collection is empty. Add request to start working. Okay, we need to add a request. Once of all we add a request, we can also like name it like add API. Okay, now enter. We have created a collection and we have like created request. Now you can see here there is an option called get, and also there is an option called post. Okay, why we have selected post? Because as we can see here, we are using post mapping. So we are if we are using post mapping, the result will be stored like through an stored in HTTPS 8080. Okay, 8080 port through a post mapping. So if you are using post, we have to use a post application. Here you'll be adding that particular local host. Okay, 8080. And once you are done this, first we go here. Let us run, because everything is already run. We have to clean and again run our Spring Boot application. So we'll be going there and we'll be right clicking and we'll be going to Maven build. Once we go to Maven build, what in you can see here, you can uh, do there are like goals. So you can clean there, or you can do like Spring Boot run. You can do all those things. So we'll be doing that. CLEN clean Spring and Boot run. Okay, you'll be running this. What it does is it restarts again. If there are like ports or anything running, it will stop again. Okay, so this thing we have to do every time we open is, you can see here again Tomcat started on port 8080. Okay, because Tomcat is already embedded inside it, we don't need to like download the Tomcat again. And then we go to the Postman. Okay, we will this particular HTTP you don't need to worry about, because the moment you ask to the chat GPT, it gives you that local host. Okay, yeah, just you can see the local host here. Enter in the URL field. Once you enter this, it automatically connects to this. Now you need to give a body for that. Okay, what is body? You can see a option called num1 as 5. Then we go again here. We are taking inputs as we mentioned. We have created a request here. Okay, we have created a request add API, and you can see that add request. And when we are summing, like we are adding the sum, we can see a request dot get num plus request dot get num2. So those inputs are will be given here. What will be the inputs you have to give here? Okay, once you do that, now try to run your, first of all, what we do is we try to do this. Okay, send application. You can see here we'll be getting output because already we have run the application here, Spring Boot application. Okay, what we do is now we stop this. Okay, now the port is stopped working. Now we go here, Postman. We'll again ask it to send. It is showing that error could not used. We could not send request. Why it is not sending request? Why it is the API is not working? Because you can see here, Spring Boot, we have stopped that particular port. Okay, once you have stopped the port, you cannot able to, you know, call that APIs. So what you do here, whenever like when every time, just keep it as a habit as just whenever you open, try to do that as go to run as if you are doing like Maven project. You can go here Maven. You can go here and I can use Spring Boot run. Okay, you just keep it as habit, like do it every time when you open. I think we have typed it wrong here. Yes, Spring Boot run. You can see it. Okay, you run again. It is running again. So the port will be again will be opening. You can see that Tomcat started on port 8080. Okay, now you go to the Postman. Now you try to send a request. Now it is working. You can see here because what we did is we stopped the port. Again, we used a command called clean spring boot run. The port started here. You can see here Tomcat started on port 8080. Once the port is started, now you're going to Postman and you're calling that particular API. If you are calling the particular API, then that is working. Now we'll just play around, like change the numbers. Now again we'll again ask. Now you can see that 20, 10 plus 10 is 20 because, and you can see here at the bottom you can see the whatever we are doing there, we are calling applications or operations here. Those results are reflecting here. You can see here. That's how you do small application. And the reason why we are using Spring tool suite, okay, is just you can see here. Okay, you can right click on it. uh, I'll be explaining. Right click, when you go here, you're just trying to make a dynamic web project. You can post your name here, and you have to download your Apache Tomcat, and you have to select the version. Okay, if you see here, I'll be explaining what are like no, you'll be getting a doubt. No, what if like if I'm running this project and I'm also running that project, two projects at a time, so we'll be getting clash in a local host. We'll be getting a doubt like that. Okay, as you can see code here. Okay, 3306. This particular code, everything is running on 3306. And when you come here, our code is running in 8080. So every project runs in different local hosts. You can even like change that port number. Okay, perspective. That's how you like do things. Okay, let's. I think we have to stop this. Yes. Okay, for changing the server port, all we can do is here, like anything, any ID, you can do that. No, we won't be changing here, okay, because we got output. Let us go here and let us try to change. Okay, how we are going to change the port number. Okay, once you can upside in the top, you can see a option called window. Okay, there you go there and you just try to see there is an option called show view, and there will be an option called server. Inside show view there will be an option called server. Go inside it Once you click it, you are on at down, you can see an option called server Tomcat version 9. Double click on it, you will get, see, HTTP1 1.1 is running on 8080. Now, if you want to change this particular port, you can just go here, just keep like 8097. Okay, you can run that. You can change any port number to here so that there will be no clash. Okay, or if it is showing like your port is running somewhere, okay, just restart it. In that case, also you can use this particular changing port number will be helpful for you. Okay, just remove this. Okay, that's about project. You just let revise everything first. First of all, what we did is first we downloaded an IDE. Okay, IDE is Spring Tool Suite 4. Okay, then after what we did, we went to Chrome and we just searched start.spring.io, and we have selected these options: Java language, Maven, and Spring Boot version is 3.3.3. And you have just named it as first app application, and it is like a jar file. You have to select jar, and you have to select the particular version is JDK 17. And dependencies, you have added a Spring Web dependencies. Okay, because this particular Tomcat is embedded in it, so that you don't need to download it again. After that, what we did is we have to right click on it. You can see an option called import. Click on it, and what you have did is Maven project, right? So already we have like jar file. We click on Maven project. Once you click on the jar file which you have downloaded, select that particular path, and once you are selected, try to select this box.xml, form.xml. Click on it and try to click finish button. Once you click it, you will be getting your application. And now go to ChatGPT and ask, you just want to whatever, like you can do anything you want, any method like apply addition or something other code. Go to ChatGPT, ask it, it will give you the code. Okay, once it gives the code, try to create a package. As I mentioned, there are like different packages, controller services, DAO. So this controller starting point and ending point, it will be there. Services main business logic will be there, and DAO will hold you the database code, everything. As we are just doing, we don't have any backend, so we are just using the controller package. Inside that, we create add controller class. Inside it, we just import all the Spring framework and also import the add request. Okay, and then we can see a REST controller which is handles HTTP requests, everything, and returns responses. It is like request mapping is like defining the endpoint for an URL. Okay, then you can see the post here. Okay, post is when you see post mapping here, and you go to the postman, you can see post. Okay, if you are using post map, you have to select here post. And this particular local host, also this URL will be given by your you can see here chat GPT. Then once completed, you have to go for the body. What is the type of body? It is a JSON body. You can go here and postman. Once you select body, you have to select raw. Automatically it will show you the JSON. You can type the body, and once you click send button, it will run. If it is not running, in case if it is not running, try to right click on it and run as Maven build. Okay, as I said, that clean Spring Boot run. Once you click it and run it, it will restart. Okay, it will show you like Tomcat started on particular port 80808. Okay, and then if you want, you can do everything. Like we can change control save. Okay, what we do is we right click on it, run as. Okay, build clean run. Okay, what we do is we'll run this again. Okay, first what we did is we did addition. Now we are doing multiplication. We'll just try, you know, terminated.